hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here. We're both here right from the start. Today is July 15th. The Ides of July have come. So what I'm facing here is a stuck slug. This has happened to me a couple times before. I've managed to get out of it each time without something terrible happening. But I have cracked the slug in another case. So I know what the potential is here. I want to thank John for sending me an email with a suggestion. It's not something I'd already rolled through my head, which was, what about backing the upper slug out of the transformer and then gaining access to the lower slug from the top? And there could even be a screwdriver slot on that end. Could be a screwdriver slot on both ends of the slug, and then it just go down from the top. Same thing I was kind of thinking, but just taking a look here. And uh-oh. So my camera here likes to stall once in a while, like it has right now. I'm just going to click reset. It'll come right back. But what I was trying to do there, I won't do. So I've looked down through the top of the transformers here, and I just don't think you can back the slug up through this hole. I think the hole in the top is smaller than the slug. So another alternative would be to remove the can top, examine the situation in there. Yeah, there's just not a lot of ways to deal with this. Making sure the slugs are not in any kind of contact. Now, which one was it? I think it was this one here. Oh, you're going to break the string eventually, aren't you? Is that your plan? What? Look at, he's just Mr. Action here. He's just looking for trouble. Yeah, John, I couldn't write you a keyboard. I couldn't write you an email because of this. I was writing the email. I looked up. It was gobbledygook from my cat here. Yeah, so once again, I'm in that situation where I really don't know what to do, and I just start stalling and goofing around in here and distracting myself because I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, you're just a wildcat this morning. You're Mr. Wildcat. Now, do you want something to chase? What if I threw this? What if I threw this thing? You like these, they're chewy. Should I just throw it like that? Should I just throw it like that? Just like that. So easy. Well, I should see if the upper slugs will move both up and down. If they move up and down, especially down, then they're not in contact with the lower slug. So I can do that right away here. And I'll eliminate that possibility, although I don't think it's very big anyway. This is the wrong transformer, I believe. That's up. That's down. This one here. That's up. Down, there's nothing there. Let me turn it back up. So I haven't got a slug contact problem. Not the issue. Well, what about a better tool? So this one is camming out a little bit. I think I roughed up the end of it working with it. Another tool. So I have some with a metal tip, but that's very similar to just sticking a screwdriver in there. It gives you the same problem with if the slug isn't stuck, it's not a problem. Yeah, let's look at some more tools. Maybe I've got one here that'll, because I have a ridiculous number. I spent years with literally two slug tools, two of these white ones, which I now have dozens of them. Now look what I've got. I've got this unbelievable set here of stuff. Well, let's see. So these white ones, this is a nice one. That's pretty wide at the top there. Ooh, look at this one. This one's much more narrow. This is perfect. I think this is the guy. We can try. Let's just look for some others here. Nope. A lot of them are not blade type. Look at this. It says measurements. Wow. Just counting the number of rotations. I haven't even looked at. I have tools I haven't even looked at. Okay, there's another one with a blade. That looks like that would cam right out the way it's made. Not square. Yikes, look at that. There's a little tiny flat blade there. Tiny flat blade. Okay, I think I've got some tools to try it with. That's got a nice sharp, unmolested end on it. Okay, let's try here. These are all very delicate ones here. So none of those. Okay, so I've got a couple here to try. Start with this one's probably too big. Oops. This one's probably too big. Let's give it a go. Got a grip one. It's a little odd. Gee, I wonder if the slug is cracked already. It's biting into something with a groove that's about that wide. Can we see in here? We got to take a look in there. We got to look and see what's going on. Okay, I got to get a little tiny camera here. Okay, here we go. So what you're looking at here is this guy here. And if you wanted to look at something shiny metal knurling here, that's pretty good, eh? So this is really an ear inspector. I'm not going to show you the inside of my ear. We're going to shove it down here. See what we get. I have to look at another one to compare it. I would expect it to look just, you know, like a thing with a slot in it, but what's this half moon on the left side? And where are the threads that it's supposed to rotate in? Let's look at the other one here. So I get the same effect. It's just the way the light is reflecting off the off it. And look at this is one I'm not having trouble with. And this is the one we're having trouble with. They look the same, don't they? It is weird how that one side reflects, but maybe it's, I don't know what to make of that. There's no bits and pieces laying around. It's not cracked or broken. Interesting how the camera, if you notice, I'm rotating it, but the image remains level. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, anything else interesting to stick this in and look here? Any other holes here? This is the volume control. I should make more use of this camera. This is looking up in the turret. Not much we can just having some fun with it. Okay, let's take one more look. Maybe look from the top too. I can't see any reason why this wouldn't crank out. Then I screw in the one from the top down into contact with this one, and then try to screw the two of them from both sides at the same time. That sounds like a good way to really wreck it. Well, okay. Let's give it a go here with some different tools. Where did they all go? These nice tools I picked. So we want to start with this wide one again. The slot goes right across, so yeah, this could work. That's something I've learned from looking with that camera. So that means we would be in the slot with that much play. Ooh, just skipped over the top. Wow, I just don't like it. Oh, this is a real thin one. Does it get the same play? No, it's locked in there tight. So I think this one maybe it's so wide it's just skimming over the top of the slot. Yeah, this one was in there nicely, and now it's not. It's possible the ears are broken off the top of the slug, since the slug slot goes right across. You have two ears. Break off. I think I would see the debris, or it would have fallen out there. I'm in the slot now. I'm in the slot. Okay, come on, man. Do your thing and turn. Here we go. Oh, I got a heck of a twist on this thing now. Come on, we can do it. No, it won't. It won't do it. How did it get so stuck? What have I vibrated? I think it's turning. Tiny one. I don't like it. It's too tiny. And this one is I should have if I had instruments running on this, I could see the effect I'm having, if I'm having any effect by moving the slug. Why don't we put a sweep through the IF and take a look at where it's really tuned, and maybe do it one can at a time. Now my oscilloscope doesn't look very scary, but watch this. Spooky stuff, eh? Okay, I can't help myself. I like to have some kind of weird fun now and then. So, you've seen the scope back here with the camera looking at it. The sweep going across is coming from the sweep output of this sweep generator. The sweep generator is set to go from 400 to 500 kilohertz, so 455 is just about in the middle. So we should see some effect kind of here in the middle. That's how that should go. Let me just make sure I don't have this on too high. I think I did. Center this here. A little dirt in the control there. Okay, so let's, whoop, what happened? Dirt, I guess. Oh! Come on, stop acting up here. Okay, good enough. Stop playing around with it. Now the trick is we have to put the output of this sweep generator into the radio in such a way that it doesn't throw off the operation of the radio itself. And over here, Jim. There we go. So with the radio switched off, it's not even plugged in, not plugged in at all. I'm going to try something dumb here and feed this signal straight into the IF and then straight out onto the scope. It's kind of a stupid way to do this, but let's have some fun. The proper way to do this will be with the radio on and me feeding the signal into the stages ahead of the stage I'm interested in, so as not to disturb it. But let's fiddle around here. So here's one of the coils. This is the one that's got the stuck part. It's got 4 terminals on it. What is what? What terminal is what? Which would be the primary and which would be the secondary? Those are very good questions. I got no idea here looking at it. I got no idea. So this plan's gone down the drain already. Here's a tube. Connection between the IFs. A resistor connecting between the IFs. Oh, that's kind of weird. Maybe by looking at the schematic I can figure this out, or better yet, I should just abandon the silly thing I'm about to try anyway and move on to doing something more realistic. I think that's a better idea. So in that case, we can pass the sweep. We could stick it in the antenna and pass it through the whole radio. That's a good place to start, in fact. You know that? I think so. Let's do that. Then the radio will have to be operating, of course, for this to really take hold. And I've forgotten the antenna from the... Okay, just don't want to get things wrong. Okay, so we are feeding a signal of some sort, some strength, into the antenna. Now we need to look at it somewhere, and the places I can look at it. I can look at it in various places here, but this probe is probably going to disturb things. So what do you want to do with this? So we could hook it up to the speaker, believe it or not, and check that out. A better place would be the AVC, to watch the AVC voltage, or the voltage that's developing right after the detector. To do that, we're going to have to look at the schematic and figure out where that's happening. Okay, here's the schematic for the TW2000, and here are the 2 transformers that I'm fooling with, and there's the slugs, actually picturing the slugs. Of course, these coils are not like this, they are one above the other, and potentially you could drive one slug right through both coils, up and down. Maybe not, but maybe yes. Look, they've got a little note here. Let's just make this a bit bigger. Green dot marks number 1. Green dot. So I'm looking to see, is there a green dot that I can spot here? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I can see the green dot. Okay, so we can identify those if we need to. But what I really want to do is work my way back this way. So the output from here straight in. So I have to. So I want to get on the grid of the mixer tube. A grid of the mixer tube, and the easy way there is just to come in on the antenna. Just let it come through, and that should, I don't know a better way of doing it. Now the output. So if you look at the volume control, it's usually a good place to look at. Volume control is located roughly where the radio is separating RF from audio. And so detector here, and there's the detector diode. So the audio is in here. This must be one of those, I don't know what to call them, packages. I think there's a package of parts here. There's the volume control. They didn't draw it very distinctly, did they? So anywhere on this line, there's the large resistor here. We want to stay on this side of it, not get over here. So volume control is separated by, it's protected by this capacitor. We want to be on this side of the capacitor, so we gotta be here. So either right on this number 2 here, preferably, well, maybe not. So this looks like a filter filtering out the RF at this point. Well, we don't really care about the RF. We're really after the DC that's built up from the diode. So I can find the 2.2, I'd know where to connect. If I can find any of these things, I know where to connect. T2, and this is pin number 2. Pin number 2 is opposite to number 1. They didn't really, this didn't quite help out here. 2 is clockwise from 1. 2 is here. Okay, let's look at the radio here. So the green dot, it's on this one. This is IF number 1 and then number 2. Number 1, I'm just going to cheat by looking at the diagram here. Is that cheating? Number 1, if we, yeah, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm even doing this. I want to look at number 2. Jim, you're looking for the place to hook up a scope. So, a couple leads here. Where are they going? I don't know. Volume control is boxed up in this radio. Oh, but the leads are out. The leads are out. Okay, so if we work back from the volume control, there's a capacitor. Probably this guy here. A capacitor with a resistor in parallel with it. And another resistor? That doesn't make sense. Resistor in parallel. A 1 meg on the far side. Don't see it there. This is a shielded cable here coming to this point, through this capacitor to the top of the volume control, and that would be, I think that's the output side of it. The output side is on the center, Jim. That's got to be the input. There's the shielded one leaving on the center. So this is all grounded here, and that's why it's got so many parts hooked up to it, because it's a ground terminal, ground point, blue wire coming all the way up to here. This blue wire is on the, this blue wire might do the trick right here, actually. So we're looking for the input to the volume control on the ahead of the capacitor, but I don't see a capacitor here except for this one. And a parallel to resistor. Let me see if I can just look at the. There's no parallel to resistor, So I don't know what I'm seeing there. The shield is on the input side. The shield is on the input side. So this is the input capacitor here. So this is the input. So put it here. That's the spot. I got it. Everybody follow that? Anybody follow that? That's the spot. Yeah. We're on the times 10 here. Okay, so what do we got? What do we got down here? We've got input to the antenna coming from the sweep generator, which is sweeping, and we've got the scope set up here. Okay, you can see the scope in the camera shot you're using now. Let's turn on the radio. We'll see what happens. We'll make sure the input is low, and away we go here. Radio's on. So that sound, the buzzing coming out of the speaker, is the sweeping past the tune point of the radio. If I slow the sweep down, you'll hear it. Well, that's way too slow. No, that's not what you're hearing. I'm full of crap. This is some other interference. Let me tune the radio a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what we're hearing here. Hey, what's going on? Oh, I got this so slow now. Let's put it back on high. Okay, raise the input. Okay, so there's the sound of the sweep overcoming the other sound. Let me raise up the input this way. I don't see anything on the scope. Ooh, what's with the noise? Bad ground clip. I don't know if this one's any better. We'll try. Okay. Gain times 10. Yeah, this clip is gripping much better. That's the times 1. It's quite the hum on there. Well, we don't see any effect that I would imagine to see here. Let's just crank this up higher. Nothing at all showing up. What am I doing wrong? I can certainly hear it. Set to AC here. It might be better DC. This ain't working. How come it's not working? We can hear it coming out of the speaker, but we cannot see it on the scope. How can you not see it on the scope? How can we not see it? We should be seeing a DC lift every time the signal goes by. The inputs, this is dumb hooking it up to the here is a dumb move. Is that the problem? I'm just not hitting it with enough juice. Let's turn it down. I had it up pretty high. Let's pound it here and see what happens. Okay, take a look at the scope. Something interesting is starting to show up. What's interesting are these two dips here. They're very hard to see. They're a little easier to see now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just for interest's sake, I'm going to tune the radio a bit. Oh my gosh, well, this will never do. You shouldn't see any response on there. So what's happening here? Why is this showing a response? The only way this can show a response is if it's tuning through the range of the sweep generator, or there's harmonics. All I'm doing here is just tuning the radio across the band. I've now got to the high end of the band. I'm at the high end limit. So the radio's tuned like to 1600. And the sweep is happening at 444. That's the center of the sweep, rather than 455, but close enough. I got no idea what's happening here. This is not looking at all like it's supposed to. Not at all. Okay. Gonna stop and ponder the situation here. Okay, I think I could probably get rid of the hum you're seeing if I connected the scope so that the ground was not on the chassis but was on the B-. The problem is I have another device, this one here, with the same ground, power system ground, attached to the radio here. They put two grounds in two different places. That's not a good idea. So I'm hesitant to do that. So for now I'm just ignoring the big hum signal on there. The other thing, what did I do? I did something else. So this is a I forgot what I did, for crying out loud. Clearly I gotta stop for a few minutes and get my head together, because I'm a little overwhelmed with the situation and the you know, this is not helping much looking at that. Yeah, let's just go for a little break here. Well, I've tried the cheap and dirty way to do this and it hasn't worked, so I'm gonna have to do this the proper way. Let's turn it off, and I'm going to read the manual on where to make these connections properly in the radio, and we'll set this up. We'll probably do it one transformer at a time, or at least focused on the IF only, not feeding the signal in through the antenna, and we'll just see if we can get a little more proper behavior out of it here. I'll just read this stuff up. Okay, instructions say send your signal into the radio through the stator plates of the center section of the capacitor. So we'll make this with a capacitor like this. So there we are. So we're on the stator plates there. So we go here, and the low side of the signal generator to the chassis. And so making a good connection to the chassis here. Everything is corroded everywhere. Go here. I guess that doesn't. Okay, I think that's the input. And now I have to sort out. It says I don't have to sort out. I read it. It said don't go for the AVC here. What they're suggesting is you just put this on the speaker. Now, maybe the speaker is grounded on one side. I have to take a peek at the schematic. Let's do that. Okay, we're looking at the speaker circuit. We're looking for any ground indication on here, and there is none. Well, the phone jack would be grounded, would it not? So I'm looking at it. Oh, It looks like it's actually insulated from the chassis. So it looks like the entire speaker is isolated from the radio, so I can put my scope on, ground and live any way I like on the speaker. That's what it looks like. Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll do that. I'll take the scope connection here and we'll just right. Where else can I get those wires? Are coming right out of the transformer here. They're only exposed at the terminals. Got it. Okay. Got one. And I'm also observing this while I'm doing this. There doesn't appear to be any ground connections. Okay, the scope is connected to the speaker. This is my less preferable way of doing this, mostly because you have to listen to the speaker while you're doing it. I like using the AVC voltage, but it didn't work out in this case. Let's see what happens. Now we don't have any hum signal appearing here anymore, which is good. And how did you get up there? Let's see if we can center this just a wee bit better. Okay, the input level is low. Here we go. Turn on the radio. We should hear the radio. Maybe I got the volume turned way down. Yeah, you're supposed to have the volume up pretty high for this. I'm not seeing a thing on the scope. Why would that be? There it is. The sound, I don't think it's coming from the sweep. Okay, I'm going to give you just the scope view here so you can look and ponder what's going on. Okay, I'm going to raise the sweep input level way up. Like I said, the unfortunate thing here is we have to listen to this. I think my scope more sensitive here. Okay, I'm going to tune the radio a bit. It shouldn't have any effect. So I see no effect as I'm tuning the wrong way. Now I'm tuning it. And there's nothing changing on the scope. So we're independent of the front end. Now, what do you make of this? There's a thing here and a thing here. And if you remember, I was picking up stations in two places because of this. You know, this could be the correct spot and this could be wrong. In fact, the way this is, the proper spot is here, roughly in the middle. Like, these peaks should be in the middle. So this one's close. Oh, I wish we didn't have to listen to this. Let me turn it down a bit here. No, down, down, down. There. Well, we're going to move some slugs around. The ones I can move, we're going to move them a bit and see what happens on the display here. I certainly don't like this. Like, what is this stuff going across here? Good question. This is set to linear. Huh, okay. Give me a tool. Okay, just picking. This would be the top of the second. I'm just gonna move it around. Oops. Oh, see the ringing in there. So the tool is not. There we are. Now we're gripping it. I don't see anything changing on the screen. We can hear it. Yeah, I think this peak is going up and down. So the maximum, it's hard to tell, but it would be there. Now doing the top of the second, of the first IF, this is the one where the lower slug is stuck. This is the upper slug. I'd say this slug is pretty stuck. Hey, look at that. This one was kind of weird at the first. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the right place for it, but I've moved it there. Do the lower slug on the second IF. Okay, I'm turning the slug. You can hear it. Now, what exactly is happening? Good question. The slug has gotten pinched, just like the other one now. I'm backing it down because I'm so scared. So this is closer to 455. But what's with this S shape? Not sure. What's going on there? What happened to the other one? Is this the other peak right here? He wasn't paying attention. What a mess. This is really quite a mess. And I think the stuck slug is way in the wrong spot. Okay, let's try moving the stuck slug. Stuck slug, I'm coming for you. Okay, tool's in. Now we're trying to back it out. You can hear it just camming out of the slug. I'm not going to move it one bit. Okay, I'm trying a large metal one. Ooh, so we can see that's the metal part hitting the edge of the can. I'm trying to turn it in case you're wondering what's going on here. Ooh, what was that? Okay, I'm taking a big risk here by trying to turn this thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's just so frightening to apply more and more pressure to it. So I was using this sharp-edged monster. Wow. Let's go in with the plastic end. Come on, baby. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't turn that. What is going on? I put a huge pressure on it and it didn't turn. Is this catching on something else? Oh man, what do we do here? What do we do here? You know, the more aggressive approach is start taking the can off. It's this can down here. Trying to take it right out. Take the can off. What do you get then? Well, you get to look more closely at it, but you still end up with the same problem. This one didn't go in then. That's kind of funny. Okay, let's do the tops again and see what happens. Because I moved that one bottom a long ways. Okay, here we go. I'll put you back on the better full screen image here. Okay. So if everything were absolutely right, that would be about 455 right there, the peak at the top here. If everything is right. That would include me being right. And I'll do the top of the other one. Okay. I don't know what to say. We have to put a fixed frequency through here and find out where the tuning actually is. Verify. I think verify would be the right word here. We'll do that next. Okay, so what I've got this other signal generator going over here. And you can see it's dialed up to 455. And the input is just paralleling the other sweep one. They're just both going together into the radio. You can see the two clip leads right here. This will create a disturbance that we can see on the scope. And then I change the frequency of this, and we can watch the disturbance move, and we know where the frequency being reported by this guy is on the scope. That's called a marker frequency, but let's take a look here. Okay, now this isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world to see. Let's see if we can see it. We can hear it too. Okay, right in there. So you see the line bobbling up here, right? Turn the frequency away, the bobble goes away, and bring it back. Right in there. So we're measuring, or we're matching the frequency here. So what do we find out? 438, so it's still way south of 455 now. It's way south of it. I got a new visitor today. Where'd he go? If I can get my cat in here. There he is. There's a big black ant in here. Cats, come quickly! Snack time. And he's, oh, here he is over here. He's moving fast. He's moving fast. He's heading through here. These big black ants. They're the foragers. They come out, they cover a big distance. There you can see them. He's trying to operate my equipment now. Okay, it's not a cat. It's an ant, I understand. Okay. So what is this proving? This is proven that the three that I can adjust are still off. I could force those three onto the right frequency. Get them farther, and I think farther and farther away from the tuning of the one that's stuck. So the option is either you just accept the one that's stuck, tune everything there, align the radio with an IF that's in the wrong frequency, and the dial will probably be inaccurate, but the radio will probably work. Or continue to try to move the slug somehow. I don't know how. I'm right at the limit of aggressive things I can do from outside here. So the next thing would be to actually dismantle this. And it looks like we can pop the cover off by just working these brass clips. Oh, I gotta go. Okay, TV cable guy was here and my TV is now working. I had to get a new TV box to make it work. Okay, but what about this? Seems to me I cannot go forward in any reasonable way with this radio until this particular problem is resolved. Unless I can get the IF tuned properly, it's pretty hard to do a good job with anything else in the radio. We know its reception was weak the way it was. It's probably a little better now. The sweeping through really hasn't helped all that much. I could tune these 3 slugs of the 4 to the proper place and leave the 1 out, which is probably the best thing to do, but I really don't know because the one that's out is way out. So it's like I've got 4 things I need to line up. They're like this, and I'm trying to line them up and then get them in the right spot. So right now the situation is one of them is way out and the other 3 are in the wrong spot. I could bring the 3 to match the one that's stuck. We'll get the best receptive power through the IF this way. It's possible if this is too far off where it should be, if it's too far off, cannot align the rest of the radio sufficiently to catch up with it, so to speak, or to match it. How far off is it? I think we've seen it's around 430 kilohertz instead of 455. That's 25 kilohertz off. So on an AM radio band, that's 2.5 channels over. The riskiest thing is to continue to try to move the slug. I think I've given it the best shot I can give it without really going into the red zone, cracking the slug and getting into an even worse situation here. So those are the 2 options. I suppose I could, try each one. I could align the radio against the stuck slug and then just compensate with everything else. See what we get. Or align the 3 slugs to where they should be. So, if a person has a radio and they're showing it to their friend and they say, I want to show you this radio. You see the dial, how accurate the dial is? But the friend says it's not picking anything up. Yeah, but the dial is very accurate. But you're not picking anything up. Same situation, different radio. See my radio here? Picks everything up, but the dial is way off. What's your friend going to say? Wait, let's listen to some stuff. At least there's stuff coming out of the speaker. So what that tells me is probably aligning this to the stuck slug is a better move, provided the radio can be compensated. The local oscillator in particular can be adjusted far enough and the radio still performs. And the only loss is inaccuracy of about 10,000, no, it was about 25 kilohertz off. It doesn't sound like the end of the world to me. They've never aligned a radio off on purpose. I've really never aligned a radio off. It probably affect the linearity too. So the dial may be accurate in one spot but not accurate in another because its linearity doesn't match anymore. See my hands? Now that. Okay, decision made. I'm going to align the radio to the stuck slug. Got to figure out the stuck slug frequency. That's a bit of a challenge too. That's part of why I was sweeping the radio. And we did see two peaks, but eventually one of them kind of disappeared. I'm thinking the one peak is this guy, the guy that's stuck. All I gotta do is swing the other ones on top of it. You can also determine the frequency on the scope here, where there were, it's not there now, but there were two. There was a big pulse and a small pulse. Small pulse, I'm guessing, is the stuck slug. So we can measure the frequency of it. I could tell you what it is right now though, because it's 400 here, 450 there. It's about 410, 420, somewhere in that range. Okay, I'm gonna stop and think about all this and decide what I want to do. It's already late in the day because of the TV repair guy. I showed him my shop. His eyes popped out. Never seen anything like it. Young guy. Yeah, young guy. Studied a little bit about networking in college. But he looked at my shop. He didn't know what any of the stuff was. Kind of funny. I went to take a little break and decided, no, let's just do this and get it over with. So we got the signal generator going, got the sweep generator going. Don't have the radio going. Here we go. We should see something here. There we are. This is the other peak, I think. This little bump here. I'm going to try to move all this to here. This is the plan. This is my plan. So let's start moving stuff. Use this, I think. Can I? Let's just start with one here. Okay. Now watching the scope. Actually, I'm going to give you the full. You and me, the full scope view here. A little out of focus there, isn't it? Just bear with me a moment here. I can see what's going on. Why are you not in focus? I don't know. Okay, don't worry about it. Maybe it's just me. You know what? It's the camera I'm using. This is the limit of it. Focusability. That's the spot. Okay, putting in the tool here. I'm doing the top slug. If I remember right, the top slugs never caused any movement. So I'm going to do the bottom slug on this. The one bottom slug I can do. See if we can move that. Okay, here we go. Bottom slug. Got bigger and smaller. Oh boy, this one's getting into trouble too. What are the chances these slugs have been moved way into the wrong place and I'm just way out of... It's not moving anywhere. It's not moving this way at all. Wow. Defeated on every attempt. Okay, I'm going to do the top slug in the can with the stuck slug. Ooh, that's moving. That's moving. Let's get over there. Oh, it's moving back. What's that mean? I put the slug right through the coil to the other side. That's as far as you're gonna go? Come on. Okay, top slug on the other can. This is IF can 2, number 2. Hey, this one moved. Oh, how'd that happen? What do you make of that? Well, now I'm just randomly trying all the screws and slugs. Oh my gosh. Got somewhere here. Okay. Apparently the random approach is better than the thoughtful approach. Wow, I like that. Again, I don't know why it dips here. Could just be a kind of a scoopy thing going on. I think this really jacked up the radio though in terms of, okay, I'm doing the top slug on the second can. Looks like it likes it right there. Do the top slug on the stuck can. Stuck can. Okay, there's a broad peak right here. Okay, we're going to measure that frequency by bringing in the other generator. And we're looking for a shake to occur here. Whoops, 500. Right there. You can hear it too, right in here. And the frequency is 428. 428. It should be 455. Okay, I'm going after the stuck slug one more time, but I'm not going to be aggressive with it. What if I've been wrong all this time and it's actually been moving? So watching now, I'm trying to turn the stuck slug in any direction, and it is just unwilling to move. Yeah. Okay, going over all three of the other slugs again, starting with the lower slug on the second. Come on, stay in there, tool. That would look like that's the peak there. Try the top. Okay, not getting any further. And the top of the stuck one, or the first IF. First IF. Okay, they are sort of maxed out according to the height of this peak. We need to listen to this radio now and find out if I've jacked up its sensitivity. See if it see what it can do. So let's go back to here. I'm disconnecting the equipment so we can hear it work normally. First, volume down, volume down. Big surprise. Okay, we'll disconnect this guy here. Okay, so there's no more signal inputs. Kill my scope over here. Scope, did I say? Signal generator. Okay, and we're going to take this one. This is the scope connection here. Gonna leave that on there. It's so hard to get on and it can't interfere with the radio's operation. I'm going to take these grounds off. So all we have now is the radio is connected to the scope. The scope is just on the speaker, and the speaker's isolated from everything, so there's no ground connection, there's nothing here. It's the radio all by himself. Why don't we flip it down where it's a more normal position here. That was a good reason. Right there. Oh my gosh, that was not a good move at all. Cords coming over the top. Okay, that survived. We survived it. Okay, radio back on. Oh, did I never turn it off? Oh, had it on this whole time. Oh my gosh. Bad boy. Wow. No cookies for you at lunch. That was a very bad move, forgetting the radio was on and then flipping it over. It's really, really bad stuff. Let's get this out of here too. Okay, so it's working, I believe, with this loop antenna. I believe it's on the broadcast band. I don't know that for sure. Can we just kind of slip this up here? It's on the long wave setting. That'd be broadcast band. Now, would that have made any difference? Shouldn't have. In the IF deal, it shouldn't have. Okay, we're going to turn it up. How high? That's full. Turn it down. We're running with 107 volts. Okay, man, what do you get with your own antenna? That's this guy still running, I think. Turn him off. Yeah. Gone now. We're not hearing much. Yeah, the thunder is my cats running in the room above me here. Nothing. Just a big ugly hum. We're gonna have to deal with that hum. Okay, we need to apply the boosting. Now this is not switched on, so it shouldn't really provide much boost, but there might be a little bit leaking in. Just because it's turned off, the switches are all close together, and some of the RF signal is going to pass, you know, through the open switch anyway. Let's see what we got here. So, you know, we're not picking up stations, we're picking up lots of noise. Where'd the station go? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to run and throw the switch and activate this. I'm going to turn this way down, because I think as soon as I do, it's going to become loud and clear. So I'll be back in 10.2 seconds. If I drew a response curve, it would be steep and it would tail off like that. Another station. This is Hamilton, I believe. And then the French station would be right about here. There we are. Okay, if we take out the booster again. That's not a very good sign. Well, switch it off. How do you switch it off? Switch it off over here. Well, I don't know what to say. So other than thanks a lot for watching today. Yeah, that's okay. I don't need to know what to do right now because I'm not going to do anything right now. I'm heading outside to enjoy the rest of my day. I have another hot sunny day here. Very hot, very sunny day, and that's where I'm going. So tomorrow I'll carry on. I don't know, I'll think of something in the meantime to try to move this forward a little bit further. Yeah, I got some stuff to think about. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day.